Hey Dan, right here.
Chrissy, you made it over, bud. You put me after the big fella, eh? Everyone's like, oh.
Dan, how much better does it feel right now, a couple days out from weigh-ins, than it did the last time in London?
World's changed. World's changed. So it's not like anything. It's not the weight or anything like that. It's just everything's changed. Going over there, I travelled to London by myself, and now with 40, 50 guys standing outside. So it's a whole different playing field.
Does it feel like, what's the difference in the mentality there when you have so many people you're close to? I'm sure the comfort level is just worlds apart, right?
Yeah, it's not like they just showed up at the end. These are guys that we've been grinding in the gym with day in, day out for the last, I haven't had a day off for 2.5 months. So it's like, these are guys I've been with the whole time. So we've just taken whatever was there, and it's not like I feel like I've gone away. All of these guys that have been there the whole time have come over with me, and you can so it's just business as usual. The energy that we've been feeling for the last few months, we've carried over to New York.
And the last couple of years, as you kind of alluded to, being a bit of a crapshoot, with just everything that's going on. So do you come in here just like dismissing everything that's happened, in the recent fights, and just say, this is going to be my proper version of myself going into this fight?
Definitely don't dismiss any of that. I definitely feel like I learnt from all of those things. Said it before. These are not mistakes that these are holes in my game that have been there the whole time, but they've been covered up by incredible coaching and incredible preparation, being surrounded by the best team in the world. So when you take that away, these are like flaws in my game that were shown. So now to have processed those kind of things, fixed those holes, improved myself as a fighter and a martial artist, and then to reintroduce incredible coaching, to reintroduce phenomenal preparation back into it, and I feel so much better as a fighter because of those challenging circumstances.
Do you feel like the matchup with Claudio is kind of a good test to see how far you've come as far as some of those holes that you feel like have been fixed a bit?
1,000%. I feel like this is the perfect fight. This is the right fight. After a couple of losses, questions start to get asked by people. Does he belong here? Does he belong there? So I'm happy to answer them. This is a young, hungry kid on a good streak, a lot of finishes. This is a good test to prove where I belong in the division, to prove that I stand my ground. These are the guys I should be competing against. So I'm more than happy to take on Claudio.
And last thing from me, when you fight like a leg lock guy, knee bar guy, kind of like him, who's got a bit of a specialty in that regard, how do you kind of go through the steps of those positions? Because we know with submissions like that, it's the snap of a fingers from you may feel you're okay to your knee's gone or something like that. So how do you kind of navigate that, and how you work through those positions if it happens to get there?
Yeah, that all comes down to preparation. That all comes down to the training and preparing for those things. Those are positions that I've obviously run through in the gym a few times and repeatedly. So yeah, I'm more than happy with how preparation went, and I'm more than comfortable regardless of where the fight goes.
Dan, over here. Claudio was in here earlier, and he said that given that he's had all the success with the knee bars recently, that this is the point in his career that he might have to change some stuff up because now people are expecting it and they'll look for it. So have you prepared for maybe him coming out differently in this fight at all, knowing that he knows that what's coming?
It's like a weird song. He knows that, that, I know that, we know. It's yeah, of course I'm not going to think that he only has that. He's looking better and better on the feet. He's a well-rounded fighter, and you reach a certain level where you have to show the depth in your game. You can't just everyone's a killer on the come up. That's just a fact. But once you get to that top 5, top 10, that's where the difficulty lies, and staying consistently at that level for a longer period of time. That's where you need that depth and experience within your game.
And Brad's also fighting someone that's a high-level grappler too. Did you do anything specifically together in camp to prepare? Because you're like, Izzy's fighting a striker, you guys are fighting grapplers, essentially.
I would say, Claudio and Brad's opponent are two very different styles of fighter. So, we've got, like, that's the beauty of being from our gym, that we've got, hundreds of people to choose from that we can, my coaches can select the right people for the right thing. So it's not like, definitely been pushing hard with Brad in the gym every single day, but it's not, different opponents.
And finally, I've been asking all the fighters at Media Day, this might be Frankie Edgar's last fight in his MMA career. So were you a fan of Frankie coming up, and did you have any favorite memories of Frankie Edgar?
Yeah, big fan of Frankie. I feel like, I feel it's a special moment to be a part of, that we get to witness his final fight in, New York, close to home for him.
Dan, after a training camp like this, do you think to yourself, man, I've reached the pinnacle of what I can be, this training camp was so hard, I got through it, I'm here? Or do you go through a camp like this and think, well, if I can do it this time, I can improve on it, and I can see there's still room for growth even though I'm operating at such a high level?
Oh, you always need that room for growth. The second that you reach a position that you say to yourself that this is it, this is as good as I'm getting, that's only leads to decline. That's a constant mentality. No matter who you are, you need to strive. And it's what our coaches demand from us. They don't strive a good performance. They don't strive a great performance. They demand a perfect performance. That's the only thing that's going to make them happy. So that goal of perfection needs to constantly be there.
Obviously, this camp has been what it is, and you guys are in the environment you're in. Is it like only now can you truly appreciate how crazy hard you had it the past 12 months or whatever during the pandemic, and how hard it was for you to train with the carbs and everything?
Yeah. That's pretty much how it went down. Yeah. I think we all took it for granted. Everyone in the world took how we were living for granted. And especially me, I thought the gym would always be there. I thought, my coaches would always be there. I thought my training partners would always be there. And then to have those restrictions in place that take them away makes you truly appreciate how important and how integral those people are to my success. So that's why I've just invested so much, and I know how important all of these people that are around me. Like everyone here, there's a lot of people, but no one's here for no reason. These are all guys that have sacrificed time away from their families and put their bodies on the line to help me prepare for my goals. So that's why I'm so focused on doing a good job.
Dan over here. This card is absolutely loaded from the first fight of the night all the way to the main event. You're opening up the main card, the pay-per-view card. What does that say, how the UFC views you?
Yeah, like the UFC's consistently given me exciting fights throughout my whole career. From my debut till now, I've consistently got great fights and exciting matchups, and that's just, I bring exciting fights to the table.
You just talked about all the crew here, the team. Right before you, Brad Riddell's fighting. How hard is it for you to, prepare yourself, get ready for your fight, while also kind of root on your teammate?
Yeah, I'm experienced enough that I can kind of put that in a box. I can, take that away. Regardless of his success, I'll be able to stay focused. I know he's going to do incredibly well, but I can, it's the benefit of doing this for so long that you can stay quite emotionally cold and laser focused on your own mission.
You recently fought Arnold Allen. He's rising up the rankings, possibly next for a title shot. Your teammate is the champion, Alex Volkanovski, in that division. How do you feel about a matchup between those two?
Yeah, that's a good fighter. I feel like Volk's next fight will be the Makachev fight, but once that kind of picture gets sorted out, that's another top contender. Like these guys need to, put on impressive performances and get the champ some more fights.
Dan, just over here to your right, back in 2014 when you debuted, I think only James Tahuna and Mark Hunt were doing things in the UFC from New Zealand.
Dylan Andrews.
Oh, Dylan Andrews
Shout
as
out.
well, there you go. Now, 4 guys fighting at Madison Square Garden. Do you ever get a chance to reflect on just how far the sport's come down our way during your career?
Yeah, that's something that's very special. That's a special thing to see how far the sport has come, and and I appreciate it as a fan. You know, when I first started following the sport, there was no one, you know, from New Zealand competing in the UFC. So when I first started seeing it, when I first started seeing James DeHuno got a UFC contract, Mark Hunt got a UFC contract, that kind of flicked the switch in me that, oh man, it is possible. So that's when I started, you know, and then to get the UFC brought home to New Zealand, that's why I nagged so much to be a part of that card, because I wanted to, represent New Zealand inside that octagon.
Now you got, 40 guys out here staying out at a mansion in New Jersey. Just did you ever think it would get to this position where you've got so many?
Yeah,
guys?
the boys are getting pretty spoiled. If I'm being honest, we had the other day, we were at the gym training, and then a message came through that like there was going to be a celebrity. There's going to be a celebrity back home. So then the whispers start going around. The boys start buzzing. We're going, who's it going to be? Who's it coming? Oh, I think it's going to be Drake. I think Drake's going to come. Oh, no, I think it's going to be 50 Cent. I think 50 Cent. One of the boys reckons, The Rock's going to come cook us pancakes. I reckon it's going to be The Rock cook us pancakes. Mariah Carey's coming. Like, the boys are getting steamed up. Anyway, they go, you guys hang back. And then, like, Israel will come in and meet the celebrity, and you guys will stay back. We get there. The boys go rolling in. Frankie gets to the front and goes, "Where's the celebrity?" We look, and there's that bloke standing there with the picture. I saw the Instagram going up, and he I can't remember his name. He did like the art. I walk in behind him and go, "It's just a picture." I was like, where is it? But I was thinking, later that night, I was thinking, how spoiled are the boys that we thought The Rock was going to come in and cook us breakfast. That's how sport we are, you know. We're doing well. We're doing well. Mansion life's good.
Hey Dan, over here. Just to piggyback on that, how big is teamwork in this camp? Over here, yeah.
I was searching.
Nice jacket, by the way, man. Looks toasty.
I'm going hunting.
Yeah. So how big is teamwork? Because, you know, your last fight, you kind of went on, not on your own, but you talked and said you were doing your own thing, kind of going against the advice of your coaches. So how's it feel now? Do you feel like everyone's in sync, and do you feel like you're in sync with everyone else?
Oh, I definitely feel like everyone's in sync. This camp, I'm sure Israel's spoken about it. We reached a new level, and that can only come by being in it together and all pushing each other in that same direction.
That's pretty much all I had, man.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Dan, back center here. Right here.
Gotcha.
How relieving does it feel to not have to cut that extra 10 pounds to go down to featherweight anymore?
I must be a bit mad because I can convince my body, my mind is so much stronger than like my body. I can convince it that something's easy if I if I do the right thing. So if you put me on a lie detector, like at the time, how do you feel? I will tell you I feel the best in the world. You know what I mean? When it comes this close to the fight, it's such a mental game, and you need that such strong mental fortitude that you can just blindly have it. So this close to a fight, I could be walking down the street and get hit by a car and break my arm. I'm still gonna tell you that I feel incredible, but I actually do feel incredible this time. But just mind over matter. Everything you can convince yourself, anything's easy.
Thanks, Dan.
Right here, Dan. How you doing? Stan the Man from Madison the Man. Did you do anything different to prepare for this fight? You know, the last 2 fights didn't go your way, and now you have a specialist. Did you adjust your training at all?
Scooby was helping me out. He's a leg locker at the gym, and he's been in camp with me, helping me out. So it's something that's definitely been ticked off and accounted for.
Okay. And now I heard you mention before that Volkanovski's probably going to be fighting Islam next. Most likely you've shared the ring with Islam, you got ready for a fight versus Islam, and you've also spent a lot of time training with Volkanovski. What could you give us maybe that you've seen from Volkanovski that might give him, you know, the ability to overcome Islam?
Yeah, that's a hard man to hold on the deck. Like, he's a very, very stocky young man, and I don't see him getting held down. That's just one thing. I've never seen it, and I don't anticipate it happening. So I essentially think it's going to be a striking fight. So everyone can decide how they think that one's going to play out.
And then even this card is kind of loaded with a lot of people that have kind of cross-trained with the Hickman brothers a little bit. So I asked Whaley I like to stir the pot a little bit between the brothers. Which one's your favorite, Frank or George?
My favorite Hickman brother, I'm leaving, brother. I'm leaving.
Gun to your head, you got to choose.
I'll take the bullet.